Hello there and welcome to this week's edition of the Business Weekly Show here on Citi TV. My name is Michael Ogbodu. You know how we do it on the show. It's 1 hour of fun and excitement as we bring you all the business news that made the headlines this week. Ready to have some fun, blow some steam and de-stress? Let's go! Every country develops by consuming what it produces locally. What that does it grows the local economy while creating jobs. So you can imagine the state of a country whose people think locally produced goods are inferior. But that's the mindset of a number of Ghanaians. Now let's find out how that is affecting indigenous manufacturers.
For me, I'll go for foreign products. The reason why I'm saying I'll go for foreign products is that it's very, for example, paracetamol, the packaging and the branding is very good, and it's fast relief whenever I take it. The locally one, when I take it, I don't feel okay with it.
These are the perceptions of a number of people just like Isaac. Some have arrived at this conclusion from their personal experience, while others just tag along based on general mindset. These perspectives have compelled business folks like Osei Richard, who sells locally made slippers for a living, to adopt not so conventional approaches to stay afloat.
Made in Italy. And no crown said the Ghana for an eye store born in some I didn't want to crab a cost more. Because so we are now BBS yes Italy in the end. When we say near the Bahamas, Italy are dear. Nebo de heading. In Tibazana, obey me a ton more than that. And a year be so simple cry and the who I am for Bibia Mohu, Ghana media, Ghana made. Pabuano Crano, boutique be brave or Honoma Obacono. Nem Pabuano be ho, but at of one the woman.
But for Nanayao, a furniture manufacturer with over 20 years' experience, business is actually improving.
Initially, in the days about 10-15 years ago, the way we do our chairs is typically locally. But as of now, things are going. So we have mingled between the foreign one and the local one. So now you can't see much difference between the foreign and then the local one. So now we are improving. Even we see ourselves that now we are now improving. Even the foreigners, sometimes they came to buy the local more than the foreign, because they see the difference not much. So I think there is improvement in it.
Cost influences the purchases of a lot of people. Many will scan through options and pick the cheaper value for money alternative. Nanayao argues that an added unique selling proposition for local furniture manufacturers like himself is that their products actually are cheaper than imported ones. He believes this may account for the growing interest in local furniture among the masses.
That one you can buy, let's say, 15,000, 18,000, 10,000. The cheapest one, that one you can use, let's say, by 6 months. That one about not less than 8,000. Yeah, not less than 8,000. Because the one they buy from the foreign shop, I don't want to mention the name of the companies. Sometimes they buy chairs 6 months, the whole thing spoil. They brought to us to repair. We can charge them 3,000, 4,000 because of the nature of the work. Yeah, the whole thing spoil. You have to design everything new and then make it the same as it is.
Nanayao may have a point, as not everybody subscribes to the idea that locally made goods are inferior.
I like the locally manufactured ones because those ones, the ones they import, most of them they grade it depending on the country it's coming to. Like Ghana, because we don't have much money, I don't think our goods are, I would say, their quality. Most of the things they bring here will be second class, a little lower than the ones they send to other countries. But then the ones we produce here are quality because our people do it. They know they would use it, so they do it very well. So I would choose a locally manufactured good.
For local shoe manufacturer Tonya Senaya, the only way to maintain relevance as indigenous manufacturers is to ensure quality at all times.
I would encourage Ghanaians to patronize made in Ghana products, and on the other hand, I also encourage made in Ghana producers, products and service providers, to give people, to give Ghanaians value for their money. In as much as we are campaigning that they patronize our products, I also think that we also should give them value for their money, because the competition really is now at our doorstep. People can sit anywhere and by a click of a button buy a product or a service from any part of the world. So if someone would want to patronize our made in Ghana products and services, it is only fair that we also give them the quality that they would have gotten anywhere.
Hey, for 200 cedis, and just now, no, it's almost empty. And even upon this too, they are predicting that fuel prices will go up. The Institute for Energy Security says the fuel prices might go up by about 3 to 5%. Charlie, it go hard though.
The Institute of Energy Security, IES, is predicting a 3 to 5% increase in both petrol and diesel prices at the pumps within the first 2 weeks of December, which makes up the first pricing window of the month. The energy think tank attributes the expected jump in fuel prices to a number of factors, including optimism around the development of effective COVID-19 vaccines, a loosening of restrictions in parts of Europe, as well as the hopes of an extension of the period for production cuts by OPEC Plus countries to at least the first quarter of 2021. The above developments have pushed Brent crude oil price to around $48, its highest level since March this year. Fritz Moses is a research analyst with IES, and he has been speaking to Citi Business News on their analysis on fuel prices for the next 2 weeks.
For the period under review, the national average price for petroleum products stood at 4.61 Ghana cedis per litre at the pump. The international benchmark Brent crude also saw an increment by 11.5% over the period. This increment has been as a result of the successful stories being told on the coronavirus vaccines. Also, the hopes of an extension of the production cuts period by OPEC Plus has boosted the market's hopes. We're also seeing the easing of restrictions in parts of Europe and the stability in the US elections. Now monitored on the S&P Global platform, we are seeing an increment in the price of petrol by 6.94%. Diesel has also increased by 7.26% overall in the period under review. Also, the Citi has been relatively stable, still maintaining its position at 5.76 Ghana cedis to $1 over the period. Now, these issues are what is informing our analysis and our projection for the next half, or for the first half of December. That prices of the products on the market, on the Ghanaian market, would increase by approximately 3 to 5% over the period. And so we realized that gold was selling at 4.67 over the period, and we're estimating their market price to go up to 4.9 Ghana cedis over the period for the next half of December. We're also saying that it will be in the interest of NPA and the government to kick in the petroleum stabilization levy to push in the markets, as these prices are set to go up over the period or over the first half of December.
Meanwhile, the IES says it does not expect the 3 to 5% increase in fuel prices it's predicting to lead to an increase in transport fares. The institute, however, says government should be ready to apply the price stabilization levy to avert any possible increase in transport fares.
Now to some very good news. The market folks who are affected by the fire at Odona have started receiving help from government. You know, the president directed the National Board for Small Scale Industries to come to their aid. But now, Maslock, that's the Microfinance and Small Loan Center, has also jumped in to help them. The process has started though, but not without its own set of challenges.
Thousands of traders at the Odona market woke up to the news of the fire outbreak destroying their wares on Wednesday, November 18th. Some traders who had stocked up new items in preparation for the Christmas season lost everything. Those who had secured loans to run their businesses appealed to government for support. Although President Akufo-Addo has directed the National Board for Small Scale Industries, NBSSI, to make available funds to support the affected traders, the Microfinance and Small Loan Center, Maslock, on their part, will from Wednesday, December 2nd, commence the disbursement of a total loan of 2 million Ghana cedis to 1,000 of these victims. According to a Deputy Chief Executive Officer of the center, Efia Akoto, each beneficiary is to receive a minimum of 2,000 Ghana cedis without interest.
We came to support these business women with some money to help them start again whatever they lost some weeks ago. This is a loan that is going to be an interest-free loan, and this is something that hardly happens under Maslow. Every loan from Maslow comes with an interest. It's an interest-free loan, and aside that, we are giving them a whole year to work with without payment, and after the year, then they can start the repayment schedule.
Another deputy CEO of Maslok, Abibata Shani Mahama, says the center is working in partnership with NBSSI to ensure that the remaining 2,000 victims are supported.
The criteria is that the number of beneficiaries, we know there are about 3,000. So Maslok was given 1,000 beneficiaries. So Maslok is taking care of 1,000 beneficiaries. The rest of the beneficiaries are taken care of by NBSSI. So the MCE already has a list, a data, and he categorized them according to the trade each individual involves in. So that data is already available. So we didn't have to start afresh.
The traders who felt relief for the support said they will use the money judiciously.
I was affected badly because I have 3 freezers. I serve drinks. I give it to the guests going out. So I was affected, very big. But as at now, I know very well that what the Master is giving to me is not the money that I've lost. But everything we started small. We believe that before ending of the year, we can do something better. And they even told you that if they saw that maybe you are the money they give it to you, you are using it very well, and it worked very well, they can even add more to it.
Because
This is Victoria Ametewe, one of the beneficiaries of Maslok's interest-free loan. The money, 2 million Ghana cedis in total, is being distributed by the Microfinance and Small Loans Center to support the traders at the Odona Pedestrian Shopping Mall who lost their wares in a fire that razed the whole market down. The Director of Operations at the center, Dominic Ba Eyim, speaking to Citi Business News, explained that the payment is being done in batches following particular rules to ensure transparency and equity.
We are looking up to 740 groups, equivalent to 2 million Ghana cedis. The amount, each and everybody is receiving 2,000 Ghana cedis. And that is what we will hope to disburse over a period of 1 week. Depending upon the number, what we have realized is that there is duplication. There are certain people that have registered with NBSSI and have the same time registered with Maslow. But we are sister institutions with similar mandates. So we are seeing to it that anybody that have applied for Maslow do not benefit twice, but once.
Some of the traders who have received their money told Citi Business News they would use the money judiciously.
Inti wenkwa de miyo bai de mi di beso bibiasi kakra kosi se nyankopon besan bue kwan foforo ama me.
Pedro de me ko perfect ni bi na me da start business na me de no first na. We dey so ba se na banda ma ye be so musa nti achiri ni be ba na ya so me de account.
On the other side, the National Board for Small-Scale Industries, NBSSI, which was directed by President Akufo-Addo to make available funds to support the traders, has also begun disbursement of its share of funds. However, there seems to be complaints from the traders over unfair payment methods. NBSSI's payment is being done digitally, unlike that of Maslok's. Some of these traders have been fuming over their inability to access funds promised them through the NBSSI. Although some have received payment, those yet to receive allege that those who have been served were not victims of the fire.
Now other ones no so almost be 4,000. Now almost so ka say almost sending the pass 600 ayanra no. Na menya so send the pass 600 na nyaye. Almost ka say aka nipa 400. Nipa 400 no up to we yent information bia if say no by this time na obi anya ne de kwenkwe dodo na I say omunya omode na omunya. Na nya na ye do so bebre chen wo ma omunya.
Since yesterday some received their money. But then since this morning the money I just told. Nobody is receiving any message. And then some also got the message, but then when they check their wallets, there's no money in it.
Yesterday we realized that some people were getting alerts, which is from Maslow, MBBSI. that is a relief or donor relief fund. But most of us, those who got the messages are people who are not even in the markets. Some left here, I think, 5 years ago, and some are not even here. With that we sell in that market, we've not gotten even the money from Maslock or NBBSI.
Meanwhile, the National Board for Small-Scale Industry says it has already disbursed monies to over 600 traders who were affected by the fire. According to the NBSSI, a list of over 2,000 legitimate store owners was presented by the executive of the market union. The executive director of the industry, Kosiyanki Ayer, told Citi Business News, while payment is still ongoing, affected traders who are yet to receive their money should exercise restraint.
We went on the field 2 days after the fire had happened, which was on Friday, on Saturday, and even Sunday. We spent time with them to be able to collate a list, and they were all being guaranteed by one another. So we just didn't register people. We made sure that everybody who was coming had a guarantor of some sort, and the guarantor was the leadership of the association, the market leadership, the MCE, the assembly, and really also the NADMO list that they had. So the first set of it, we paid 625 people. That was about 2 days ago, totaling 1.8 million Ghana cedis. And out of that, I think 32 came back, rejected. We pay through mobile money because of the way things are done these days, the efficiency, the timeliness to ensure that people are getting the monies directly themselves, and also for us to keep track. Our work is not one-off. This is something we've been doing for 20-odd years, right? And we'll continue to do it. So rest assured, they should be patient. It will happen. We're doing the reconciliations. Once that they've raised these concerns as well, we'll go back in to look at it, which might cause a little bit of a delay. But we would still go ahead and deliver because the president gave a timeline of 2 weeks, which we met exactly to ensure that the beneficiaries get what it is that is due them.
Still on fire-related stories, did you hear about the fire at GCB Bank at Katamanto? Charlie, our fire service men are brave. They were able to finally put off the fire and prevent it from spreading to other parts of the building. And for those of you who are worried about your money, don't worry at all. The place was insured. So the insurance of the company say they are working to pay for whatever damage was caused. Giving details on the incident, the bank said no casualties were recorded, adding that the fire, which was detected in the early hours of the day, was successfully extinguished by personnel of the Ghana National Fire Service with the support of the Ghana Police Service and GCB Bank internal security and staff. According to the fire service, the affected floor where the fire incident occurred contained stationery. Following the inferno, staff of State Insurance Company Limited, SIC, the insurers of the bank, visited the facility. Head of Corporate and Special Risk at SIC, Emmanuel Simpini Mensah, said his outfit is in talks with management of GCB Bank to ascertain the level of damage.
We have been giving protection to Ghana Commercial Bank for long. Yesterday in the morning, we heard about this case, and we said, no way, we shouldn't sleep about it. We got here in the afternoon. By then, fire service was working, so we couldn't have access to see what was going on. So we decided this morning, we will forgo church and make sure we are before our comrades and friends, which is Ghana Commercial Bank. And we have come to see the level of damage and the extent of damage, and we think it's manageable. Yeah, the fire was concentrated in one particular situation, but the smoke spread. So when you go there, you see that it is more of black damage, black smoke damage, and concentration in one particular office. Yes. We have started responding. We don't wait for 24 hours. We have started yesterday, we were here, and we are here today too. So this is part of the response process. We are meeting management very soon, and then we'll move on.
Meanwhile, the bank will not be opened for business from Monday, November 30, 2020, following the fire outbreak. A statement signed by the head of corporate affairs on behalf of the managing director of the bank said the closure is to allow for a thorough assessment of the extent of damage caused by the fire. Customers of the bank have been advised to visit Katamanto, Okaishi, Makola, Republic House, High Street, Boundary Road, Ministries, and any GCB Bank branch of their choice, or make use of alternate channels including internet banking, GCB mobile banking, ATMs, and G Money mobile wallet.
Waakye is a very popular meal and it's very nutritious. It can be eaten as breakfast, lunch or supper. For those of you who don't know what waakye is, it's basically rice and beans that have been boiled together with leaves that gives them color. It can be eaten with stew, some hot pepper sauce, spaghetti, macaroni. Feel free and toss in whatever you want to add in there. But you know, waakye hasn't always been sold under very hygienic conditions. But we found out some really cool spots that are helping to change that narrative. Let's check them out.
Basically, waakye, you know, like, it's our local food that everyone consumes. So for my part, I think it's a better food to eat in the afternoon.
When I buy waakye and the pepper, the shito is not hot. I don't enjoy eating it at all. I will throw out right now. Yeah, but when the pepper is hot, it makes my day. I like waakye because I'm a beans guy. From childhood, I like everything beans. So once it's beans mixed with rice, I enjoy it.
Clearly, Ghanaians enjoy their waakye, but must that be at the expense of their health and convenience? Meet Kofi Ansah, an entrepreneur who thinks the script needs to be flipped when it comes to consuming waakye.
It's nice to eat the delicious waakye or kenke sold by the gutter, but for where we find ourselves now, it's very important that people rethink some of these attitudes. Now, there's a study by the FAO that says that about 420,000 lives are lost yearly as a result of unsafe food. Now, that's 420,000 lives lost every year because of unsafe food. You cannot compromise on food safety.
Kofi founded PM Waakye to help Ghanaians enjoy their favorite meal without compromising their health.
I have a lot of customers coming in saying, we have been looking for something like this because we now want to eat waakye, but we want to eat it under very hygienic conditions. We want to be sure that what we are eating isn't going to send us to the hospital the next day. You know, so it hasn't been difficult convincing people that you can actually find good, tasty waakye in a very clean and tidy environment like what we have here.
One of the biggest obstacles waakye lovers have to overcome is the unbearable long queue.
In some waakye areas, the queue, the person serving the waakye, be it one person or two people, the number of people coming inside, and the queue. Sometimes someone can come and even buy 10 whilst you are still standing in the queue, stagnant, it's not moving.
So if you are coming to buy right now, you see the queue and you say, why is there any queue by here? Maybe the process.
The waakye starts from 8. By 11:30, it's ready. It's supposed to be at 10 o'clock.
PM Waakye makes the process convenient with options like calling in to place orders, cashless payments, as well as delivery.
I hate waiting for food. And so when we started this, one of the things we talked about and said, look, we don't want people to come queue up and you come and you find a long queue. Yes, we know someday we will get there, but most importantly, we want you to be able to order the food before you even get here, so that by the time you get here, the food is ready and you just pick up and you leave. So you shouldn't go through, stress to put food into your tummy. So yes, you can actually call us and we prepare the food, we dish it out. Once you get here, you can also pay via mobile money. And we also do delivery, so you don't even have to come here. Once you call the number, you tell us the packages you want. We always have dispatch riders on standby to deliver the food.
For some Ghanaians, waakye is a sacred meal meant to be enjoyed on Saturday mornings. Kwame Soul, the founder of Villandro Residence, believes the Ghanaian Saturday waakye ritual should not be limited to street vendors. He introduced Saturday Sultan's Waakye Brunch at his restaurant to help Ghanaians enjoy Saturday morning waakye in a more serene environment.
To start with, we offer an extremely comfortable indoor and outdoor space, an extremely clean environment, which you wouldn't normally associate with waakye. A lot of people will say that, okay, waakye by that gutter there, waakye by that gutter the other side, and so on. I do not think that their standards Wache should be something that should be associated with Gatti. And so we felt that we could move that Gata mentality away and offer Wache in a more conducive, a more serene, a more comfortable environment.
Guys, have you heard that we are going to have another national airline? The former one collapsed many years ago, and the reasons were incompetence, corruption, and mismanagement. We pray this new one doesn't suffer the same fate. If we Ghana we day.
It's been a decade since the collapse of the country's only airline, Ghana International Airline, in 2010. Since then, governments have proposed a revival of the airline with the aim of building it to withstand industry shocks. Speaking at the inauguration of the Aviation Security Service Providers Association at the Ghana Civil Aviation Training Academy, the sector minister, Joseph Kofiada, said the ministry has completed negotiations with stakeholders in the space towards reviving the national airline. He says this is in line with the government's plan of making Ghana the aviation hub within the sub-region.
I want to take this opportunity to announce that we have indeed concluded the negotiations that we need to conclude with our strategic partner, Egypt Air in this case. All the issues that we are standing in the past, we've resolved them. We've compiled everything we need to compile, the shareholders agreement, the business plan, all the other businesses that are so important to ensure that we get the approval of the key agencies of Ghana. The Cabinet, Parliament, are the only steps that are left for us to have a national airline. So God willing, if we're able to get Cabinet consent to what we put together, the Parliament ratifies, then we'll have a national airline or flag carrier very soon.
The formation of the Aviation Security Service Providers Association is also in line with government's objective to promoting and fostering a thriving and dynamic affiliation among members and other stakeholders in the aviation industry in building a robust sector. For this reason, the newly inaugurated ASPA has been tasked to contribute towards improving the quality of aviation security in the subsector.
As you may be aware, Ghana is key in implementation of the Global Aviation Security Plan, an overarching security initiative in the aviation sector. The Ghana Civil Aviation Authority, the Ghana Airport Company, have been committed to this plan through the implementation of various initiatives such as National Air Cargo and Mail Security Program, National Civil Aviation Security Certification Systems Program, and Aviation Security Training Programs, among others. It is expected that ASPA will play a key role in complementing these initiatives of the agencies of government.
As we prepare to go and vote tomorrow, the Abosokai Spare Parts Dealers Association is calling on the various political parties to ensure that the peace that we enjoy today continues. After all, who wants to live in a country that is torn by war and conflict? Clearly not a good environment for business. So please, as you are going out to vote, don't get involved in any fight.
Traders at the Abosokai Spare Parts Enclave in Accra have reiterated the need for peaceful elections on December 7 to ensure the business environment remains stable. The traders made this known during a peace walk organized by the Abosokai Spare Parts Dealers Association on Thursday, December 3, 2020. Marching through the streets of Abosokai, the about 100 traders held up placards with inscriptions such as "Stand for Peace," "Vote for Peace," and Abosokai for Peace, amongst others. Speaking to Citi Business News, co-chairman of the Abosokai Spare Parts Dealers Association, Clement Boateng, charged the leadership of the two main political parties to be mindful of the dangers to the country's economic prospects if peace does not prevail before, during and after the elections.
The importance of this, peace work that we are embarking, today is to just send, messages to our politicians that they should let peace prevail. Because if peace does not prevail and there is chaos after this election, we will not be able, to come and sit here, to do our work. And like I told you, the business community is the movers and shakers of the economy. So if nothing is happening in the business community, then it means the whole country is at a loss. So we are appealing to them that as we go into the elections on Monday, they should let peace prevail. Whoever is elected by the Ghanaian electorate to lead us, each political party must accept it so that we will have a peace environment, to operate our business for everybody in Ghana here to enjoy.
A couple of years ago, you would have to come into a shop like this personally to pick up an item. But now, with the introduction of social media, you can just visit any of their platforms, place your order, and have it delivered to you. But not all businesses have been able to migrate onto this new way of doing business. Let's find out the details in this clip.
E-commerce has often threatened traditional trade, which usually requires the business owner to acquire a business facility, staff, and other complicated processes. On the other hand, what one needs to start an e-commerce venture is as little as a mobile phone, access to the internet, and the products. For this reason, when the lockdown accompanied the emergence of the coronavirus pandemic, consumers felt safer purchasing goods online. It also presented a more comfortable approach to transacting business. But according to the Ghana Union of Traders Association, this phenomenon is gradually crippling their businesses as many consumers no longer have the taste for trading the traditional way. The president of GUTA, Dr. Joseph Oping, was speaking at the Imani GIZ Policy Dialogue Series on the impact of COVID-19 on businesses in Ghana.
Ordering patterns have changed because now ordering have shifted towards consumable and medical-related products. People, traders as we are, always have to realign ourselves and find how we can still survive even within the pandemic era. What have even come as a new normal is the e-commerce that have come because of these protocols and all that to edge most of the traditional businesses also out of business.
On his part, Chief Executive Officer of the Association of Ghana Industries, Seth Chuma-Kwabwa, said a full recovery of the country's economy will require the collective change in consumption and manufacturing patterns.
We see the demand being there, we see the need for it, but our system has not encouraged local production to the extent that we can suddenly change the production pattern to produce more locally than imported. So imports are still going on. The recovery, of course, manufacturing is also growing a little bit, but I think it's growing at the same pace that we had before. It's not the case that as a result of the COVID, we are now producing more than we were producing before, or we are now importing less. Patterns hasn't changed. I think that we need to invest more in manufacturing to be able to really change patterns when situations of this nature happens.
You know, it's some 19 days to Christmas. But what is Christmas without rice for jollof? Last year, Citi FM and Citi TV started this Made in Ghana rice campaign. So as you go out for your Christmas shopping, don't forget to get some Ghana rice. Because even the producers say they've got you sorted out, crowd. I'm continuing with mine here.
Last year, Ghana imported over $331 million worth of rice, although it has the climatic conditions and technical know-how to produce locally. After Citi FM and Citi TV's advocacy for the consumption of local rice, several rice brands stepped up to produce enough for the local market in the meantime. Nana's Rice, one of the local brands which currently exports to Ivory Coast, Belgium, and Germany, stood tall and has plans to take full advantage of the Christmas season.
We are already stocked up. Our hope is actually to have an additional help with delivery. So we want to have a smaller van that can do some of the in-house. So we have a large van which is able to take about 100 bags at a time. So we're trying to get a smaller one that can do more in-city. So when someone orders for 2 or 4 bags or 5 bags or whatever less than those, so that retail companies will use the distribution van, and then most of our personal business to consumer sales would go through our smaller channels. So I'm hoping that using these new channels that we are hoping to incorporate would allow us to sell more. Also, one more thing we're doing is we're trying to get into about 200 stores in Accra. That's really our target for the year, because most of the time what we realize is people who receive the rice say, I love it, but I can't find it. So what we set ourselves, our target for the year is to have at least 200 retail stores across the city, so that we are more accessible to our customers.
Nana's Rice is not the only one capitalizing on the growing interest in local rice consumption. Wilmar International, a leading agri company in Asia and Africa, recently added local rice to their product line.
One thing that we realize is that most of our local farmers are a bit discouraged. They want to do this farming, but there isn't any support because the patronage is low. So having brands like Wilmar or Fortune come in and patronize what they've worked so hard for, we believe is going to encourage them and also to take their farming to the next level. Also, I believe that it will give them some emotional satisfaction, knowing that the farming that you have done ends up in a beautiful brand like Fortune. It's enough encouragement.
There's no doubt that 2020 has been a relatively slow year for most businesses. Nana is hopeful that the transformation that will be brought about by the Christmas season sale will lead to a more prosperous 2021.
We are super pumped for 2021. So AFCFTA is big for us, and really looking at going to other countries within the continent. Thankfully, we are currently in Cote d'Ivoire, like I said. We are in talks to be able to expand into other Francophone countries. Also, we are acquiring a larger tract of land, so that would allow us to be able to produce higher volumes, which is really exciting for us. And then people kind of keep asking us about brown rice and wild rice. So these are two additional varieties that we are hoping to be able to get into 2021.
For our local brands like Nana's Rice are optimistic about taking a significant part of the over $300 million market. The unfortunate reality is that majority of Ghanaians still consume imported rice. One might wonder just what it would take to disrupt this market enough to make Ghanaians prioritize their locally grown rice over the imported ones.
A lot of it is going to have to be on sensitization. Most local people have to realize their value in local rice and the fact that we're actually feeding our own cycle, because what it means for us as a company is once more people purchase from us, we're able to give it to more retailers. For instance, we wholesale at a price point that allows the retailer to make 10% of the margin. So if you went to a store and you bought our rice for 50 cedis, what it means is 5 cedis of that money is actually going to the retail store. Now what this means is the more and more rice that person is able to sell, the more money they make. On most of the imported brands, they are making about 1 or 2 cedis, which really comes down to approximately 2 to 3, at most 5%. So actually most people make more money when you buy local rice.
Beyond the micro impact, consuming local rice this Christmas season will not only be good for one's health, but will also contribute to transforming the Ghanaian economy.
We can get the rice same quality or close to same quality as we import. Then we are helping the country's foreign exchange. We are also helping to create more jobs.
Imagine putting in so much effort to build your bank and you are suddenly blacklisted because some of your staff are not following the rules strictly. This is the experience of a number of banks across the country. The more reason why the Bank of Ghana is calling on management of banks to ensure that they leave no stone unturned when it comes to enforcing the banking sector laws.
Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Ernest Addison, has called on the governing boards and management of banks in the country to do their part and stay in compliance within the country's laws and regulations covering anti-money laundering and the combating of financing of terrorism. Earlier this year, the European Union listed Ghana among countries with strategic deficiencies in their anti-money laundering regimes. Speaking at the 2020 annual dinner of the Chartered Institute of Bankers over the weekend, Dr. Ernest Addison said the Bank of Ghana has intensified surveillance of the financial system to identify potential systematic risk, market conduct breaches, and anti-money laundering deficiencies.
Ladies and gentlemen, you will recall that during the year, the EU listed Ghana among countries with strategic deficiencies in their AML-CFT regimes. The listing, although does not lead to any sanctions or restrictions in trade relations, can have serious consequences for the financial sector, including a higher level of due diligence from correspondent banks on their Ghanaian respondent banks, and de-risking which could disengage us from the international financial system. We call upon the governing board and management of banks to do their part and stay in compliance with the country's AML-CFT laws and regulations. Accordingly, the Bank of Ghana has intensified surveillance of the financial system to identify potential systemic risks, market conduct breaches, and the AML-CFT deficiencies. This will pave the way for prompt remedial actions aimed at improved resilience and public confidence. In the light of this, the bank has also revised the AML-CFT guidelines for the industry, introduced a sanctions regime, increased sensitization, and established a regulatory forum to boost correspondent banking relations and general health of the financial system.
Have you ever had a bad experience with a rent agent? Or are you in doubt of engaging one? Parliament recently passed the Real Estate Authority Bill. Now, the bill seeks to regulate and formalize the activities of these rent agents. What this would do is that it will reduce the likelihood of being defrauded by bad agents. This bill is very good and important. The more reason why stakeholders are calling on the president to make this bill law quickly.
The Real Estate Authority Bill 2020 covers the purchase, rental and leasing of real estate as well as other real estate transactions. It will also establish the Real Estate Agency Council to license real estate brokers, issue real estate transfer certificates, and monitor the performance of the brokers. A memorandum of the bill underscored the need to regulate real estate agency services to rid the industry of fraud, laundering of illegal income, and tax evasion to minimize the effect of these vices on the national economy and the image of the country internationally. The law would require a real estate broker to submit within 3 months after the end of each calendar year to the council a report covering the real estate transactions undertaken by the real estate broker and the agents of that broker in the previous year. A person who fails to submit annual reports to the council or fails to conspicuously display the license issued per the law would be liable to pay to the council an administrative penalty of 1,000 penalty units. Speaking to Citi Business News, CEO of Mikasa, an online real estate platform, Kelvin Yami, says considering the impact the law will have on sanitizing the sector, it is imperative that the bill is assented to urgently.
We want this bill to be passed as soon as possible, if it's possible. I mean, I know it's the election year and all of that. There's a lot of focus, shifted away from this bill. But we think that even getting close to the Christmas, it's a time that a lot of people are coming in, and the government is encouraging a lot of Ghanaians to move back. A lot of investors to move back. So, I mean, one of the main variables is trust and confidence. And so, if this is passed and message is preached properly and communicated properly, I mean, it will give more people the confidence. Those who are coming back with a lot of money, those who are looking to move back, those who are looking to invest. I mean, I think it's the right time for the president to spend a few hours, to pass this bill for us. Yeah.
Some 2,000 customers of Instant Microfinance say they haven't been paid their monies after going through the entire verification process. The company was part of those that were affected by the financial sector cleanup, and the customers to say they want their money. Let's find out what more they have to say in this video.
We are currently being validated, so I don't know what is keeping our money. You have validated us and you have made it known to everybody that you have claimed Instant Microfinance. Meanwhile, we have not received our money. Why? The government is really getting on our nerves. on our necks. Seriously, we don't like the idea of doing demonstration, but the government is pushing us. Let us have our money. And we are please, the government should help us. If help us, we will advise with them.
My little money that I had, I invested it in this bank. And for 2 years now, I haven't received my money. And I'm suffering. I have dependents whom I'm caring for. Even right now, money for transportation is even a problem for me. So we are begging the government, they should pay us now. Our brothers and sisters, some have received their money, but we haven't received our money. And the year is almost ended. We know that they are a listening government, and we know that as we are crying, they will come.
So we learned that government have paid all the collapsed banks. So we didn't get our money. So we are appealing to President Nanado to come out and help us so that we will get our money. If not, we will not vote this year.
Microfinance. I sent my money to Instant Microfinance in February. That was 2019. I did an investment for 5 months. I was supposed to take my money in July, and up to now, I can't get my money. And the bank manager is telling us stories. We call him, no, they will pay you, and they have not paid us till now. We are waiting for our money. We are ready to receive our money. We are suffering without the money.
I know I'm not the only one who hates to deal with erratic power supply. It can be such an inconveniencing experience. Imagine waking up in the morning and you're not even sure where or how you're going to iron your clothes or even charge your phones. But while the government says it is making efforts to ensure that as a country we have enough power so we don't go through such experiences, and they are doing so with some very environmentally friendly approaches. Let's check it out in this video.
The 26 megawatts forms part of the first phase of the 250 megawatts hydro-solar hybrid project being undertaken by the Bui Power Authority. President Akufo-Addo has noted that Ghana would achieve its renewable energy target of 10% of total energy production by the new target date of 2030. This was noted in a speech read on the President's behalf by the Senior Minister during the commissioning of the solar project.
Thankfully, this project further reiterates Ghana's resolve to diversify the country's energy generation portfolio and increase the renewable energy component of our energy mix. This further shows my government's commitment to deliver on its promise. We had promised to increase the renewable energy component in our energy mix 10% by 2030 in our manifesto. It is instructive to note that we are well on our way to achieving this feat, and perhaps earlier than expected. With Bui Power Authority's significant additional of the 250 megawatts, PRA's 100 megawatts, and the other small solar and hydro projects, I can assure you that Ghana will attain the 10% renewable energy target by 2030.
The Deputy Minister in charge of power, William Ogbodu, says the Bui Power Authority is being empowered to explore other forms of energy.
Looking at the successes that have been achieved within this short period, you will agree with me that Bui Power Authority has distinguished itself as Ghana's renewable energy leader, and this cannot go unrecognized. The Ministry of Energy has also designed the Bui Power Authority designated the Bui Power Authority to assume some roles of the proposed Renewable Energy Authority to implement renewable energy projects assigned to them by the ministry on behalf of the state until such time that Renewable Energy Authority is established.
The board chairman of the Bui Power Authority, Ambassador Afari Donkwa, says people who lost their lands during the construction of the dam are being empowered through various models.
The project affected persons who sacrificed their ancestral lands for the Bui Hydro project had no alternative livelihood. On the other hand, several skills-based jobs at Bui generating station, such as waste management, fumigation, landscaping, were being undertaken by contractors outside the Bui environment. The board therefore approved for development, the 17 business modules and skills set for alternative livelihoods for project-affected persons.
Well, that'll be all for this week's edition of the Business Weekly Show on Citi TV. Hope you enjoyed it. For regular news updates, check out our website, citibusinessnews.com, and don't forget to tune into the Business Dashboard every weekday at 7 p.m. sharp. My name is Michael Ogbodu. Thank you for watching. After voting, watch the election details on Citi TV.